Lacrosse is the fastest growing sport in America. There have been several states where lacrosse participation continues to increase. It is important that we have coaches who are able to understand and teach these athletes the proper form and mechanics of shooting a lacrosse ball in order for success to occur. With the help from Dr. Heather Vincent and her staff from the University of Florida Sports Performance Center, I was able to examine how a former collegiate lacrosse player shot a lacrosse ball overhead. Former University of Florida women's lacrosse player Jackie Rupp volunteered to do a biomechanical evaluation by the UF Sports Performance Center, examining her throwing and shooting motions in her dominant arm. At the University of Florida Sports Performance Center, 28 reflective markers were applied to Jackie's body, lacrosse stick, and ball. A 12-camera system then captured Jackie's motion during several overhead shots. Each overhead shot was performed quickly and accurately as possible into a standard collegiate goal target. The MATLAB software was used to find Jackie's rotation velocities of the pelvis, trunk, shoulder, and crosse, pelvic tilt, knee flexion angles, hand movement of the stick, trunk lean at ball release, shoulder abduction angles at foot contact and ball release, and trunk rotation relative to the pelvic were calculated. The ball speed was also calculated from the motion capture data. The three key phases to the overhead shot are the crankback phase, acceleration phase, and follow-through phase. During the crankback phase, Jackie winds up, in which the shooting shoulder ducks into the trunk, turns away from the target as the lead foot makes contact with the ground. During the acceleration phase, the angular velocities of the body segments, pelvis, trunk, upper arm, and the shoulder and crosse are increased to prepare for the ball release. During the follow-through phase, this is the time where Jackie's shoulder crosses over the pelvis and body segment deceleration occurs. We can tell if Jackie has good form with throwing by how she places her feet and knees, how her arms and shoulder move relatively to her hips, and how much speed and power she can generate from her hips. The kinematics were derived from the software called MATLAB. Here is the stick figure computer model of Jackie's during the three phases: crankback, acceleration, and follow-through. The wind-up that precedes to the acceleration of the crossing. During the acceleration phase, the ball release is a key event that terminates the acceleration phase. The maximal shoulder to pelvis crossover is the final event of the lacrosse shot. In order for Jackie to increase her stick speed, she must rotate her hips, pelvis, torso, and shoulder. The rotation speed of the stick should increase if Jackie boosts the rotation velocity at the hips and torso. This rotational energy is transferred to her body, to the stick, and then the ball. Shot speed is controlled in part by how much her shoulders move relatively to her pelvis. More shoulder rotation can help her become more efficient with energy transfer for her hips to your stick. Director of the University of Florida Sports Performance Center, Dr. Heather Vincent, found that lacrosse players who golf in the off-season might have an advantage. She found that those who played golf regularly had a shot speed up to 10% faster and higher shoulder rotation velocity than those who never hit. If you or know someone who is or was a competitive lacrosse player and would like to have a complete report of the biomechanics of his or her lacrosse shot, please contact the University of Florida Sports Performance Center.